So welcome again. I'm Peter Chege. So today we are going to learn dividend yield, and we are covering whether you're buying new shares or if you have existing shares or you are adding more to an existing portfolio. The way you do your dividend yield is different for both for the three categories. So dividend yield for new shares. It's how much dividend you earn based on the current market price. So it takes the dividend per share divided by the current price times 100. So say a company is giving a dividend of 1 shilling and its current price is 12. So you divide 1 by 12, then you multiply by 100. So you get dividend uh, yield of around 8.3%. So this is the yield if you buy today. So that is if you don't have shares. Or if you want to know how much returns do I get by buying that share today, if you are targeting dividend. So how much of returns? So if you have an existing portfolio, let's say Safaricom and they have declared dividend, then you also need to know out of the cost I've incurred, how much returns will I get from my dividend? So dividend yield for existing shares is how much dividend you receive based on your average buying cost. And remember, average buying cost in your portfolio is not the same as buying price. Average buying cost or average price is inclusive of cost, levies and commissions. Remember, for new shares, we have not factored commissions and levies. So this is just tentative. If you want to buy new shares, you need to factor that. We usually forget that. For existing shares, fortunately, your broker may have calculated that for you in the portfolio valuation. And I've said that price includes cost. Not only the price, but also the cost. So for those shares you're not using today's market price, because you're not buying today, you have bought earlier, you incurred a cost. So you want to know how much returns do I get for waiting for this dividend. We'll come to how you can compare this and selling in the market. The profitability of your shares, if you are to sell, it's there in your portfolio valuation, but it doesn't factor cost of sale. So if you are to factor that and you get now your true portfolio profit or loss percentage, you can compare with dividend yield so that you know if I was to take dividend compared to selling, which gives me high returns. So dividend yield for existing shares equals to dividend per share divided by your average cost. That average cost you can get from portfolio valuation, then times 100. If you have account with multiple brokers, I've shown you how to use a stock analysis to combine those portfolios into one. I'll be doing a video next on how to combine portfolio valuation using stockanalysis.com, and you're able to manage all the brokers you have from one platform. So once you get the average cost, it's the same thing. The dividend yield is dividend per share divided by the average cost. Now, either from one brokerage or many brokerage, then times 100. So if you bought earlier, let's say you bought one at 10, the other lot at 8, the other lot at 12. So per share, if you were to get the average cost, it may come to, now you add the total cost divided by 3 around 10. So, and you have your dividend per share as 1. So dividend yield in this case will be 10%. What does this mean? We have talked about this year, dollar cost average. Dollar cost averaging. I will do another video next on dollar cost averaging, how it works, where you buy some shares at high price and others at low price. So at high price, you buy small shares. At high price, at low price, you buy a lot of shares. So what does that do? You have seen some shares at 12, they push the prices down to 10. However, the ones that you bought at 8 are pushed up a bit high to 10, which is okay. But remember, what if you bought more shares at 8, then at 10, just a few, then at 12, very few? it pushes your average cost down further. So if you are to do the returns, you have to take the dividend per share divided by the average cost. You realize the returns may go higher. We'll come to that. We'll see why you need to do DCA, dollar cost averaging. So your personal dividend yield is higher because you bought earlier at cheap price. If you are to compare with current price, let's say current price is 12, then your yield goes down. So your returns goes down. Why? Because you're buying at a higher price. But if you bought earlier at lower prices, then it means that averaging DCA also increases your returns. So now the third way is when you have shares but you want to add. This is called breaded yield. You already have shares. And you want to add more, then know how much returns do I get from my shares. This is the combined yield when you have an existing average cost for the existing shares from your portfolio valuation, but you also need to add more. So the formula is you first get the breaded average cost. So existing shares times the average cost to get the total average cost. Then you add the new shares you want to buy times current price. Then that you divide by total shares. So existing shares times average cost you can get from your portfolio valuation. If you have multiple brokers, again, I'll show you how to use stock analysis to get this. Then the number of shares you want current times the current price. Then you combine the two to see the total cost you incur to have the existing shares and the new shares. Then you divide by the total number of shares. That is existing shares plus new shares. So you get the breaded average cost. That's then what you use to divide dividend per share. So dividend per share divided by breaded average cost times 100. That gives you the dividend yield, the returns of adding more shares into an existing portfolio. Why? We talked about DCA. You could be buying new shares at a lower price. It pushes the average cost down. The breaded average cost goes down, increasing your dividend yield. If you're buying new shares at a high price, it pushes your breaded average cost up, reducing your returns. So an example, you already have 100 shares at an average cost of 10 each, and you want to buy 50 more new shares at a price of 12. You realize now, if you are to divide dividend per share 1, you divide by now the new average cost. It may push dividend yield further down to around 9.37. So what does that mean? If current price is higher than the average cost, your yield reduces when you add more. So if you're buying new shares at a higher price, your returns reduce. If current price is lower, then your yield increases. And also your average cost drops, DCA. So always compare dividend yield versus your new average cost before adding more shares to know whether new shares are giving you value. And that's why I always say, if you want to add more shares at a higher price, buy in small lots. It's better you split that amount into different stocks, add in small quantities. Then when price goes down, that time you can buy an individual stock in large quantity. So dividend investing is always strongest when you buy dips. It's very important. If you want to make money through dividend, always buy more shares when prices go down. Like now, there are stocks that are going down. And the reason is people are they're selling to cater for holidays and also school fees. Prices will go down between now and January. Around January now, going forward up to March, those companies will start announcing dividend. Prices will rebound. It might be the right time to buy when prices go down. Always buy during dips. In terms of selling, check your portfolio valuation. Compare with dividend yield. I will do that video where we show you how to compare dividend yield with profit percentage or loss percentage to make that decision. Do you want to take dividend or do you want to take profit? So again, my name is Peter Chege. That's my WhatsApp number. Just in case you want to know anything on the market, always reach out on WhatsApp. And also remember to check my YouTube channel, my website KE. Link is in there. Bye. Thank you so much. Let me to the next one.